Canceled weddings, closed boutiques, uncertain shipping supply chains, and social distancing are some of the factors affecting the wedding industry during the pandemic. Still, shopping for a wedding dress is an important in-person experience. This week, I talked to one boutique owner trying to make that experience better. COVID-19 has no doubt affected every industry somehow. Couples have had to push back their weddings more than once because venues are all booked. Shelby McCain, owner of Shelby McCain's Bridal, says people's priorities have shifted during COVID. The shop just recently opened up during the pandemic and is the only bridal boutique in Keene. Shelby's goal is to offer the brides a little more in her wedding experience by exclusively having the boutique to the bride and small party.
It was exactly what I wanted. She found her gown the first appointment, and she said I made her feel special, I made her feel beautiful, and that's what I want. That's really just what I take away. If anything, I would just want them to feel like it was about them and that they felt like I was giving them 100% of my attention.
Small boutiques like Shelby's is booked with appointments because of the busy holidays, but after January is supposed to be the busy season. The wedding industry is seeing a lot of delays while being bombarded with orders.
Supply chain issues, most of my rush orders can't be done in 10 weeks. They can be done in 13 weeks now. Everything's just getting prolonged. Everything's getting pushed back a bit.
Shelby said the wedding industry is predicting a huge boom in 2022 because people have postponed their weddings and will have more money they are ready to spend. Traditionally, it takes approximately 6 months to get a dress in from the date of purchase, but now it can take between 8 and 14 months. So if you are planning a wedding or getting married, you should book your appointment soon. Amber Olson, KSC TV. Shelby McCain's Bridal is located at 82 Main Street and is by appointment only. You can schedule an appointment at smbridals.com. Again, that's smbridals.com. Experts say because of COVID, there has been an increase in domestic violence among both college students and the general community. Now that things are starting to open back up, the Monadnock Center for Violence Prevention has been receiving more calls. The MCVP Education Director says the center has plenty of resources available.
And so Domestic Violence Awareness Month is awesome for this, getting out, what those warning signs are, what abusive behaviors are, what your resources are, how to support a friend who's going through something,
Monadnock Center for Violence Prevention has volunteer training happening next month. Anyone interested can be trained on how to be an advocate, work in the office as an intern, or work the crisis line. If you are 18 years and older, you can find the link to apply at mcvprevention.org. Again, that's mcvprevention.org. College administration made the schedule change to help reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission in classroom buildings. The intent was to give classroom spaces time to air twice during the afternoon instead of having back-to-back classes. High CO2 levels indoors is known to increase transmissibility of COVID-19.
We didn't have the foresight back in January of what it would affect downstream in August, September, October. To try to look that far ahead with all the variables of COVID is sort of unfair. But it was a task that we were tasked with and a decision we thought was best at the time until it became to executing and then come to find out it probably wasn't the best idea.
The schedule change has created some unexpected problems. Students, faculty, and staff are faced with long lines to get food at the DC, Lloyd's, and to go get COVID tested. That's because noon is now the only open afternoon hour on the schedule.
Usually 11:45 to noon, I go get tested right before the rush, and it's easy enough to just go get tested and then go straight to lunch.
This has forced students to get creative with their time management, and it has caused some frustration too.
A little bit, just because of how long the lines are. That kind of cuts into my time. As if I have like an hour to eat, I might lose 15 minutes of it waiting in lines.
But some student organizations have found a benefit to having an open hour on campus when all students are free.
I think it is easy to get connected on campus during those times because there's lots of events happening really quickly, and it makes it a little bit easier to sort of break up the day instead of just going 10, 12, 2, 4 through classes. So it's a nice little break in the day.
If you're having trouble managing your time, stop by Aspire in the Elliott Center or come to the bookstore to grab an agenda. If you're crunched for time, try bringing a lunch. Amber Olson, KSE TV. Christian, since the Writing Center moved into Mason Library, 81 Blake Street has been empty, but there are campus groups interested in using the property. One possible use for the building has to do with the campus COVID plan. COVID task force member Colin Burdick says he would like to use it for his team. Burdick says the site would be perfect for a testing center. It would also allow the COVID team to get out of Monadnock Hall, which the college is considering selling.
The Writing Center was small enough that we could easily run a symptomatic and pre-appointment testing operation out of, rather than using Monadnock. Get people on this side of the street, more centralized to campus.
Burdick told me he has put his request in with the Space Planning Committee, and there is at least one other group interested in the building. At news time, we have not been able to find out who that other group is or when a decision on who to give the space to might be made. Back to you, Matt. Good evening and welcome to the October 21st edition of KSE TV News. I'm Amber Olson. Cheshire County has recorded another COVID-19 death. The Keene Sentinel reports this most recent death was a man under the age of 60. New Hampshire has had 1,524 COVID deaths since the pandemic began. 48 of those have been in Cheshire County. Police are investigating a crash that took the lives of 2 children. WMUR reports Jordan Couture lost control of his pickup truck on Interstate 93 Sunday night. 2 juvenile girls were thrown from the vehicle as it went off the road. Paramedics pronounced the children dead at the scene. Police have not released their names. Cases like this are the most extreme instances of alleged domestic violence. Raising awareness about this issue is the focus of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is happening right now in October. The Troy Deli and Marketplace has a new owner. The Sentinel reports 33 Central Square Real Estate, LLC of Massachusetts bought the market last month. Mike Putel is one of the co-owners and has been running the store for the last 2 weeks. Patel says the store is running well and he has not planned for immediate changes. Keene State has introduced a new and inclusive dining experience on campus. The new market is open Monday through Thursday, 5 to 10 p.m. Students without a meal plan can also pay with cash or card. That's all for this edition of KSE TV. Thanks for tuning in.